Hi, welcome to Loft 801. My name is Diego, and today I'm talking about Anemone. Believe it or not, I have never seen a Daniel Day-Lewis movie in my life, and boy, have I been missing out on some incredible acting. Anemone's DDL's return to acting, starring in a film directed by his son, Ronan Day-Lewis. It has a somber elemental mood. Wind, grass, sand, and sea fold around two estranged brothers. FYI, this review will not contain any spoilers because contrary to every other review, I genuinely enjoyed this movie and I hope you watch it. The story is deceptively simple. Jem treks into the woods to persuade his estranged brother Ray, a hermit and an ex-soldier, to return home and reconnect with the family he abandoned. From there, Anemone alternates between tense fireside negotiations and coastal interludes that feel like a memory breaking through fog. The movie sometimes cuts back to the wife and son for exposition and deepens the textures of trauma. Guilt is the gravitational force in this movie. Ray carries the weight of an action he took as a soldier. It haunts him and has detonated his sense of self and exiled him from domestic life. Jem carries a different burden. He stepped into Ray's role as a husband and father and now needs Ray to face the son who grew up with a hole where his father should have been. The movie's tone is largely mournful. It's expanded upon by Ray's monologues and confessions. It's discomforting and a measure of how grief and rage can curdle. The drama in this film is wordy. I think if the acting hadn't been so incredible, this movie would have risked falling flat for me. For some people, it did. My girlfriend had a hard time understanding the British accents and got lost in the story and eventually got bored. She gave the movie a 4 out of 10 because she thought it was pretty and liked the acting, but she couldn't piece together what the story of the movie was. I completely sympathize with her because I genuinely had to sit up in my chair and lock in to make sure I understood what was happening. I think the strong accents are a testament to the incredible acting in the film. Daniel Day-Lewis steals the spotlight. His performance is inward and flinty with bursts of volcanic specificity. Specificity. Every twitch, every hesitation, and every withheld word allowed him to speak without speaking at all. He carries weight in his posture, eye movement, and controlled restraint. When he monologues, you can see the cracks in his psyche from trauma and being in isolation. I love the way DDL shifts between repulsion, pleas, anger, and quiet longing. He's a tortured man pushing everyone away for the sake of his pride. Equally as good, Seanbean is our emotional counterbalance. He's a religious man and that helps him reconcile and be patient with his brother. Like DDL, Bean expertly uses his facial expressions to convey disbelief, sorrow, irritation, and obligation. It reflects the push and pull of trying to both save and confront Ray. He almost comes off like a therapist and helps push the story forward. Samantha Morton is also incredible as Nessa. She has an emotional steadiness to her and she anchors the story's emotional wind. She carries the undercurrent of what Ray abandoned. She often listens more than she delivers manifest conflict. For a movie heavy with male trauma, Nessa invests everything into what she's been given. She might be heartbroken, but she continues to hold hope that Ray might one day return and meet his son. She is a very strong mother. Brian is played by Samuel Bottomley and is a living ledger of generational trauma. His silence, his anger, and his longing are central to the emotional stakes in the movie. Even though he's not the dramatic center, he's the reason the reconciliation matters. While I enjoyed his character, I think he was more symptomatic than fully fleshed. His arc is meaningful, but it's overshadowed by the emotional weight carried by Ray and Jem. At the end of the day, I'm okay with that because the acting by them was excellent. The cinematography in this movie is flawless. That might be largely due to the setting, but still, wow. Ben Fordsman renders nature like a live wire. Grass waves in sheets, dunes are stitched with skittering sand, and the tree lines hiss with weather. The visuals scratched an itch in my brain, and I could practically feel the salt spray. Even the camera close-ups on each character are incredible. They help capture every single micro-expression, quirk, and twitch. It's perfect for monologues and makes them feel like a storm is forming. This movie is heavy with symbolism and I loved it. I'll keep the symbolism vague, but the visuals with the strange creature, the incredible hailstorm, and the dead barracuda are powerful. Okay, I lied. I want to talk about them and what I think they symbolize, so you have 5 seconds to skip ahead. Alright, time's up. Since Ray never met his son, I believe the strange creature was a spiritual encounter that he recognized as Brian. It seemed sad and hurt, and I think seeing it ultimately helped Ray make his decision. The hailstorm was looming throughout the background of the film, and when it finally hit and killed the barracuda, it was a representation of Ray's bloodlust and violence. The traits he was worried he would pass on to his son were killed by the storm. Ray tries to prove to himself that he's still a violent man and attacks his brother, but ultimately can't bring himself to harm him. Something has truly changed within him. That's all my interpretation. I've read some things on Screen Rant which all could very well be true. Spoilers over. Bobbykrlic is the composer for this movie. I swear he's composed like every movie this year. He composed Eddington, Eeny Meeny, Him, and even a film from one of my recent reviews, Midsummer. Hands down, this is my favorite score of the year. It was originally the music in The Ugly Stepsister, but something about Anemone's score spoke to my soul. It is the most introspective, thrumming bed of sound that I can think of. It genuinely makes me feel like I'm floating and flying through space. It makes me feel like I'm standing on the edge of a waterfall looking across mountains and valleys. This is the kind of song that would play in my head if I climbed Mount Everest or if I dived the Mariana Trench. I don't know how to put my love for this score into words. It's genuinely so atmospheric and emotional for me. I feel like it unlocked 100% of my brain power. I know that's a myth, I just want to convey that Bobbykrlic deserves his accolades for this score. The score in this movie made every emotional moment hit, and I think that's why this movie has stuck with me for several days now. I've been listening and will continue to listen to this soundtrack for the remainder of the year. The final thing I'll say is that with such a dialogue-heavy movie, I think about 7 to 10 minutes could have been cut out. I think it might have helped the pacing a little bit better without diminishing the emotions or performances. Again, I really like this movie, but my girlfriend didn't due to the dialogue and the pacing. Anemone is the kind of film that lingers quietly, like wind still moving through grass after a storm has passed. It's dense, demanding, and occasionally confusing, but it's also achingly beautiful, raw, and human. Between Daniel Day-Lewis's magnetic return, Sean Bean's heartbreaking steadiness, and Bobbykrlic's transcendent score, the film captures a sense of spiritual reckoning that few dramas even attempt. It's a meditation on guilt, forgiveness, and the unreachable spaces between family, and it asks you to listen as much as watch. For me, that's what makes it special. It's plot, but more importantly, its pulse. This movie has stuck with me every day since I've seen it, echoing like wind across a desolate shore. This movie won't land for everyone, but I don't care. I am happily recommending it. Thank you for listening to my review of Anemone. If you enjoyed the content, leave a like and hit subscribe. If you did not enjoy the content, thank you for sticking around. As always, I would love to read what you have to say, so leave a comment and let me know what you're thinking. Also, if there's something you want to see reviewed, don't forget to let me know and I will do my best to get to it. Lastly, if you want to see some more from me, then you can check out my vlogs linked up above or my podcast, Good Friends. Again, thank you for watching. My name is Diego and I will see you next time.